Okay, this is just going to be a quick update on the Craftsman LTX. Here's where it's sat pretty much all winter. I did occasionally fire it up. It's fired up all winter long except for once it needed a fuel filter. That bad gas got up into it and plugged the filter, but swapped out the filter and this thing's been running beautifully. So, quick update on the tractor. It's still being converted to four-wheel drive, most likely in the next couple weeks. As long as my project I'm doing tomorrow and Sunday doesn't run over towards next week, this thing will get tackled next week. I have underneath the wheelbarrow a transaxle, a four-wheel steer transaxle, which will be mounted in the front of this tractor, essentially making it four-wheel drive. For the shifter, a lot of people use the mower handle as their shifter. I'm not going to. I'm actually going to be adding a secondary shifter into the side of the dash. Hopefully, this is what I'm hoping to do. That will go down through the dash and you'll be able to shift it like that. If I screw up, I do have an extra dashboard, and this dashboard here will just have to go with the other one I have. The other one I have is going to be parts an engine test stand, so it kind of needs a dash, but doesn't necessarily need the side panels. So that's the plan. So hopefully I don't screw up, because I don't like I don't want to screw up these nice panels. So that's just a quick update on this tractor. I'm going to quickly fire it up. It should fire up. It is cold. Battery's a bit low. Also on this tractor, I have removed the mower engagement. The cable kept on getting hung up underneath too much. So last weekend or not last weekend, a couple weekends ago when I did the transmission, I pulled out the handle. I basically swapped the transmissions back to what it originally had. It has a Peerless in it right now that matches the Peerless I'm putting up front. I had this MST 206 in there, so I thought that transmission initially matched the other one, but I was wrong, so I swapped them back. This one was in here after I converted this from hydro to gear drive. And then I had to swap them back. I swapped them around a few different times now. But the transaxle that's currently in the back of this right now actually works better in here than that MST did. The MST, the front mounts never really lined up correctly. This one here, everything lines up perfectly. Here's the engine, just a Intech Briggs V-twin. The battery that came with it, nothing special. It needs an oil filter, a little bit rusty on there. The oil's clean, but the oil filter's a little bit rusty. It's got the good frame right here. That's just a little bit wet. Is that oil? Nope, just water. A little bit of water on the frame. I thought it was oil leaking. It's got the good frame. It's got the heavier gauge front end with the 4 bolts instead of the stamped steel, which is a lot better. It's got 2nd gen steering, so the steering on this thing is really nice and tight. Very minimal play. Only play that's in it is really in the joints on the end on the steering rod, which you want. I don't think anyone's converted this body style over to 4-wheel drive, and same with my when I did my diesel. Nobody's converted that style of tractor, to Craftsman, over to diesel. So it's basically something new. I'm trying to do something new and something different here, and I know a few people have followed my idea now with the diesel, going with that body style. They're going with even a newer body style, but who knows? Maybe somebody might copy my idea with doing this body style of Craftsman. Everyone's done the cubes with the big front ends and the step overs. This is a step through, which I like better. I like being able to just get on like this instead of having to go up and over. So anyways, here it is. I'm going to be using it now to pull out my project for the weekend. But this one here, if everything goes according to plan, is going to get chopped up next week. The engine's most likely coming out. The transmission's going to stay. The fenders may or may not come off. The dash may or may not come off as of right now. Really, the only thing that's going to be staying on here is the steering box and the transmissions. I'm going to have to send it out to a welding shop to get it finished welded. I'm going to tack it all in place and then send it out and get it finished welded. My little 110 welder won't cut it for the structural welds I'm planning on doing in the front. But the plan is to get everything in, tacked into place, the steering done, and the drive line and clutch all sorted out, then send it off and get it welded. And when it comes back, basically reassemble everything. So I'll be able to do some of the welds myself. Basically, I don't want to do anything structural. I don't really want to drive it around too much with the welds that I plan on putting on here. If you get my drift. So that's pretty much it on this. Quick start, quick chat. If anyone has any ideas for the project, like always, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm an open book. I'm willing to listen to anybody's ideas. And I do respond to my comments as long as they're appropriate. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep redneck like always, and please try and comment.